Go on, then, sing the intro.
Dunno, dunno.
It's not Brooklyn Nine-Nine. God damn it. God. Hello and welcome to the Other 14 FC podcast. I'm Alex, Crystal Palace fan.
And I'm Tom, a West Ham fan.
And this is your podcast for everything not top six. Tired of your team being last on match of the day, not getting the flowers they deserve. All that's about change. Tom, what do we have for listeners this week?
Forest tame the Black Cats. West Ham survive a late scare. This might be the shortest episode yet, as Alex won't let me talk about half the games. Because where are you now?
In Krakow. Since we last potted, I've been to 2 European countries. Well, 3, I guess, if you include going back home. And yeah, so landed in Krakow today. I only have my work laptop, so that's why Tom will be singing all the intros and outros this week for the listeners.
And has immediately forgotten the intro and outro.
Oh, God. But no, how you been holding up, man? Well, what have you been up to whilst I've been sandferry in it?
Mine has gone immediately blank because I've had a right day at work. But yeah, nothing too much. Watching the football. It's a lovely, lovely day out in the sun on Saturday. That was full of about particularly 10 minutes that were particularly nervy that we'll get on to. Yeah, just enjoying the good weather, man. Are you excited for Thursday?
Yeah, I'm buzzing for Thursday, especially because I went past the stadium on the way to where I'm staying. And yeah, I was just amazed how nice Krakow was. It's really pretty and like really, really cheap. You're looking at about £2 a beer. Went out for food and had about 27 Polish dumplings because I'm a fat piece of shit and they're just so tasty. I would try and pronounce them properly, I have their real name, but I'm not going to butcher another European language. I butcher English enough as it is. But,
Yeah, well, God knows what you're going to be like on Friday morning after the next few days in Poland.
I know it won't be as bad as how it was Sunday night after getting back from a stag in Budapest. That was bad. Drinking with Northerners the whole weekend, just yeah, got my arse handed to me a bit on the beers, but what can you do? But I've caught up on all the football, exciting times for it. And yeah, should we well, there's no point taking a break. Should we get into it, or should we just hear you sing for another 5 seconds?
Let's just jump right into it.
Nice. Where do you want to start then?
We have to start with Friday night. I know, take your minds back, guys, but Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 5. I did not see that coming.
No, I didn't. I didn't see it coming. I don't know what my prediction was. It was probably a Desmond, I'm betting. When you go back to it, but didn't see it coming. But now it's happened. Does it feel a bit like Sunderland are being a bit too open with it, and Sunderland are maybe taking their eyes a bit too off the ball? Because I know we said last week it didn't really matter that they lost, did they? Because it's just like, oh, they're going to have a bit of fun with it. They can play expansive football. But
I mean, I think it just got away from them really, because I think that the highlights didn't show it, but I think Sunderland were pretty decent in the opening 15 minutes, and then like Forest were good as well. I don't think it was one-sided, but it like that Hume own goal goes in, and then the next 3 happen in 6-minute spell, and it just like was insane to watch.
It's just shipping 9 goals in 2 games. It's never going to be good, and especially with this one being at home as well, where it was their fortress for so long. Do you know what I mean? I'm getting a bit too ahead of myself, I think. But it's just one of those things where you don't want to see Sunderland doing this to the end of the season, then setting up a rocky like start of the new season where it was kind of similar with Wolves. Wolves did well all the way to the end of the season. We said they needed a couple of losses. I'm basically contradicting myself from last season right now, aren't I? Where I said, yeah, you could do with some losses. Screw it. Okay, I'm talking about the wrong team anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're focusing on the wrong place here now.
Yeah,
Nottingham Forest have just come out 5-0, and after this match, I was thinking, that's Forest safe. I think Saturday's results have changed that slightly, because West Ham and Spurs both won. I think Forest still need a couple results, but the way that they played in this, and I think really, you take the last game and a half of football since half-time when they were 1-0 down against Burnley, and actually they kind of have fallen into a tactic that has caught the other teams by surprise, where Romain Bakhwa had to go off at half-time in that Burnley game, and they brought on Igor Jesus and played him as like a second striker, and then moved Morgan Gibbs-White out to the left, and they started in that way with against Sunderland. And I think Morgan Gibbs-White out on the left poses a lot of problems for defenders because he's not orthodox. Like, he's a number 10 playing out there, and the right back isn't sure whether to pick him up. He floats in between the centre back. He'll just naturally float more centrally. He picks up amazing positions. We'll get onto his goal in a minute, but I think that tactic, well, that lineup that they've sort of stumbled into through an injury has worked really well for them. And if we just took 9 goals in a game and a half, 8 in the 4 against Burnley in the second half, and then 4 in the first half against Sunderland, they're just they're picking up the right places, they're getting the goals, and that's why I thought at the end of the game that they were comfortable, and then the other results kind of changed my feeling.
Well, watching those 6-10 minutes where they took it away from Sunderland altogether, it's the confidence that some of the players have for Forest was insane. Like, Hutchinson was looking like the 50, what they pay, 48 million pound player?
No, it wasn't that much. It was like 30, 35.
I'm sure it was more. I'm sure it was more. I want you to stat check that.
I'm going to check that, but I am pretty sure it was like 30-ish.
I thought it was something ridiculous.
There we go, both furiously typing.
37.5, so yeah, I was 10 off. But yeah.
I was closer, but
that doesn't seem too bad actually now looking at it, judging for how much we paid for Benton Johnson. But yeah, Hudson had some lovely moves in it. But like you're saying, it's almost like now all the Forest players have the confidence they're all in a bit of form. Morgan Gibbs-White shines like obviously the brightest out of all of them, but there's other people to watch now, and other people's getting into space and making a difference and putting the other teams under pressure, because in this one, it isn't just Morgan Gibbs-White scoring a hat-trick. There's goals all across the team, and it just was a completely well-rounded performance. I know the first one, the Human goal, like you say, it's a bit of a bizarre one, and it shouldn't be enough to really kick Sunderland completely in the teeth. I think it's the second goal that really does it for them, with Roofs making a mistake.
Yeah, it's definitely the second one. The first one is a well-worked corner, and Forest had a couple of corners up to this point that had kind of threatened. And obviously it gets a massive deflection off Human, goes in. The second one is the one that absolutely rattles Sunderland, because Roofs, we've praised him a lot this season. I think he's been excellent for his debut season in the Premier League. I think a lot of people have taken real notice of him.
Yeah, I had no idea until he came to Selhurst, and that day at Selhurst, where we drew 0-0 with Sunderland, and I thought we were shit. And it turned out, no, Sunderland are going to go and defend like that against the whole league. It was he was stood out ever since then. But he has a shocker there. And that's what I mean. Do you think it's a bit of overconfidence from Sunderland? A bit of we're going to play it out from the back completely now, and just complacency, digging it slightly soon?
Maybe, but I think from a Sunderland perspective, it's very different to the Wolves perspective last season, where Wolves, outside of that 7-game spell, would have been relegated, and then they tailed off after that 7-game spell, which I remember sort of talking about at the time as a bit of a worry heading into next season. You would have wanted them to finish on a better run than that, whereas from Sunderland perspective, it's a real different set of circumstances. They're newly promoted this season. They've done incredibly well. I think maybe they're probably just trying out a few things before the end of the season, and Regis Libris is just seeing what sticks, really. I think he's allowed to do that at this point, given where Sunderland are. They're probably not going to get a Europe spot. There's just too many teams chasing that 1 or 2 spots available, and teams in better form than them. And yeah, Sunderland fans would love to have gone on a European adventure, but they're probably all quite realistic as well, as thinking that was kind of a long shot, and this season has exceeded any expectation already. So I don't think of it too negatively. I think this game especially just got away from them in a 6-minute flash. Yeah,
I guess fair enough. I need to stop being so harsh. Well, I'll judge it on the next 2 games. I'll judge on the games at the end of the season and see how it's going for them.
I mean, if they go on to lose the next 4 games of the season, and it's a 6-game losing spell, then yes, I would I'd be a little bit alarmed ahead of next season. And I mean, I've already seen one rumour about them possibly switch Regis Libris out, but that's very much tabloid talk at this point. It'd be crazy to make that move, but we've seen ruthless things happen.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's just
talking of ruthless, Gibbs White picking up, like, this is something that's I spotted it all weekend. Attacking midfielders picking up a spot around the penalty box where no one was around them, around the penalty spot where no one was around them. It started with Gibbs White on Friday night, and there were a couple others I'll come on to later. But Gibbs White gets that third one that is really, like, so happened so soon after the second. It really just put the knife in Sunderland.
That's when it felt like they were completely running riot, and like it was like game over. It's going to be score as many as you want in Out Forest. And it's because they were looking so good and they were just taking those opportunities, which it's just chalk and cheese compared to what they were like at the beginning of the season. Well, not beginning of the season, what they'd been like at times this season, wasn't it? And
yeah. And
do you think it's all down to that positional change? Like you said?
No, I don't think it's all down to the positional change. I think that's something that has helped them in the last couple of games. I think what we called for maybe 10 weeks ago, Gibbs White and Anderson stepping up really, like, and then as you said, that influences the other players. It lightens the burden on Hutchinson, sort of thing. He can play a bit more freely with how good Anderson and Gibbs White have been playing, like in the last 8 to 10 weeks. They've been playing so well that everyone around them has been playing better. Chris Wood coming back is important. Like, he's not going to get the 7 goals.
7, you said
I said
5.
at the start of the season.
You said 5, not 7.
I'm pretty sure I said 7.
I'm certain I said
check
5.
Check the tape. But I'm pretty sure I said 7. Because if I said 5, it would be squeaky bum time. But
you're shitting your pants. You definitely said 5. I'm certain of it. When I get back, I'll check the tapes because I had that in my notes.
Oracle.
I love it. But yeah, I mean, Chris Wood, if he did get 5 or 7 goals in these last few games, that would be just your life. I think that and West Ham going down would sum up your season pretty perfectly, wouldn't it?
I mean, West Ham going down would override any of that. But at 4-0 down, like, for Sunderland, they kind of come into it a little bit in the second half when, like, they get forward a little bit, like. They have the Ballard consolation or possible comeback. It's at that, like, peak time, like 61 minutes, where it's like, mate, like, it would have been an incredible comeback if it had managed that, and it might have just been a consolation. But at 61 minutes, it would have been enough time for you to be like, right, get the ball back to the penalty spot and keep going. But it's ruled out for, I think, a harsh decision or Mukiele fouling Sells.
Yeah, I think it's pretty harsh. Firstly, the Dan Ballard leap like a salmon was pretty cool to watch. We were in the pub and I was pretty blackout at this point on Friday night and saw the scoreline and saw that happen. I was like, Forrest scored again? And I was like, wait, no, it's Dan. Didn't know what's going on. But yeah, I think you're very right. Technically, I guess, it was an offside foul on the keeper.
No, it wasn't offside. It was just a foul on the keeper, because I thought it was offside first, and they checked that and they were happy with the offside. But it's because Mukiele is, like, sliding, and he, like, just sort of kind of takes. I mean, he does, like, unsettle Matt Sells, is how I would put it. Rather than, I wouldn't say he took him out. I think he's just, like, put him off balance, and obviously that has impeded the goalkeeper. And when that happens, it's generally like a foul is given, so I can understand why. I just think it's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I can understand why it's given then now. I thought it was a bit insanely harsh because I thought it was an offside player fouling the keeper by accident, and I was like, that's a new one even for me. Like, that madness.
Just making up rules now. And then Anderson just gets the icing on the cake in injury time when a lot of the Stadium of Light was long on their way home.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice finish though, and obviously that dedicated that goal to his mum, who passed away recently. So yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been a more perfect away day for us fans, could it? I saw the pictures of their limbs up in the heavens at Stadium of Light, and I was pretty jealous because my time there was pretty disappointing, to say the least. Actually, I saw a goal, so I can't complain. It's more than I thought I was going to see. It was just everyone arguing with each other about Glasner being a prick to us.
That was like the worst time for Palace this season, was in that spell.
In that spell, yeah. But I mean, best spell of the season for Forest fans right now, there, and
they've turned it on when they needed to, like, massively.
Well, that's it. Like, I know we've said about all the results. It's like all the teams down that in that bottom five have started. Well, Spurs have got one win. They maybe not started firing completely now, but all the other teams have like started firing, and it's like, did Spurs just start too late with it? Forest have kind of had it for a few weeks now. You've had it for a few weeks now. Leeds have had it for a few more weeks. Like they've had it for a few months now, and it's just they're like, it's crazy how it always seems to happen. There always seems to be someone that goes on a run, but everyone apart from Tottenham has gone on a bit of a run now.
Yeah, well, I mean, we may as well move to the second of the
Yeah,
games that were big in the relegation dogfight, and that was we've got to talk about my boys, West Ham 2, Everton 1.
yeah, and I bit of a roller coaster for you this, I bet. I mean, I was texting you abuse when I was half pissed on our boat, I think, that afternoon in Budapest when I saw the scoreline and that Spurs were looking to get out of the relegation zone, and I wasn't too happy with you.
Yeah, I mean, first off, it was one of the most boring first halves of football I've seen. Really,
Well,
just did not get started.
I think there's another game that may trump that. It's the Spurs one where only highlight from the Spurs game in the first half was a slinky injury.
Like we kind of have to show the injury, like how he got injured, but like let's quickly go to the second half.
But there was
I
the
mean, this one
spectacular,
wasn't far off.
there was a spectacular Barry. I'm not going to call it a chance. He went upside
Barry's
down for a bit.
attempted overhead kick that he did not connect with in the
No.
slightest. Yeah, that was got a good cheer from the West Ham fans, that
Yeah,
one. But yeah, we'll move to the second half. There's a couple of contentious decisions in this, and I think the first one, I don't know how Jordan Pickford's not been sent off.
what for the one where he's gone through Tatty?
Yeah, he lands on Tati's ankle with his studs down.
See, I thought
And you
this.
can call me biased, but he like if you see in the age of VAR where we slow things down and referees to make decisions based off of one image, a still image on a screen, I don't know how you look at this and say that that's not a red card.
I see what happened. Well, I haven't seen any of the bad replays of it. The only highlights I've seen yet, it's been like, oh, Tatty's missed an opportunity, Pickford's having a go at him, and then it's like, oh, VAR, but didn't give it, and I was like, I didn't
Like
even see the
it,
slow motion VAR of it.
well, like Jordan Pickford does his usual nonsense where he launches himself into the air. Tati gets the shot away. Pickford saves it okay, but in the follow through, his like Tati's standing leg is like that. His ankle is there, and Pickford lands like studs down on his ankle, and you actually see his ankle go like that. And
See,
it's actually like mystery that Tati continued playing. Like that could have
see,
really, really injured him.
I thought it would look like that, and it should have been something like that. But the fact they didn't show any replays, and the highlights I was showing, it's like, oh, maybe it wasn't that bad. So fuck me, okay.
No, if you see the replays, and it's fun, and it's been sort of all over social media and stuff because of the Everton fans making a big deal about what happened at the other end with Matty Fernandez, and it's like, right, okay, you're making a big deal about that, but
I mean, before we get to
Pickford
that, I mean,
poleaxed him.
yeah, fuck, I need to see that again. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's not the worst because you get what a goal from the resulting corner from that, don't you?
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah, Souček again, ole ole.
yeah, I remember you saying Souček was done and it was time for him to leave when he was partnering James Ward-Prowse in your midfield, game in, game out. But he's
Yeah,
popped up with some key goals,
in a
mainly, well,
great in a
only,
Graham Potter team where you where you play passes around the midfield and the back so much, Souček looked like a fish out of water. In this Nuno sort of style of team where like he gets back, he does his defensive work, he like made two goal line clearances in this game, and then the way he crashes into the box, great at set pieces, it works. And like I think I always said that Souček will go down as a West Ham cult hero throughout the time when I was saying maybe it's time to move on.
no, you're
And
slagging him right off, mate. You were telling me Jordan Much was better than him.
who?
Jordan Much, Palace legend,
No idea, mate.
one of the most hated men ever. How, how do you not know what Jordan Much is? That is,
That's a bit too Palace niche for me.
mate, he only played well, he played, I think, 20 games too many for us. But yeah, he was awful, awful, awful. But yeah, I mean, Souček, game plan should be pretty easy for him in attack. Just put it on the cunt's head.
Like just get him in the box. Anytime he's in the box, he does the business. And then just a little nice note: he spent Sunday cheering on West Ham staff with his family doing the London Marathon. So it's
nice.
pretty nice. He's a West Ham legend, as much as like West Ham fans, me included, have said throughout at various points in his West Ham career that he might not be at his peak. Like, and we might have to move on from him. Like, he's still just a legend.
If I had the other laptop, I would be cutting in your clips and like edit them to make them sound like just slagging them off. But I mean, I guess we're saying in attack, just put it on his head. In defence, he made, well, a very good goal line clearance with Furtenena. He did not know about with his head as well.
Yeah, he does not know a thing about that one with his head, but great, just right place, right time. But it was coming, man. Like the Everton equaliser was coming. It was about we got the lead, and then a few minutes later, just started sinking deeper and deeper. Just became box defending, defend the 1-0 lead. I know it's a Nuno sort of thing, but it was just
that's been the criticism of Nuno from everyone, hasn't it? Even before West Ham, it's like he'll get the lead and then he'll like try and see it out. And
took a striker off for a midfielder. I was like, okay, I understand you're trying to get a bit of possession, but like just sort of, as I say, just kept dropping deeper and deeper. Survived those 2 goal line clearances and a couple of other near shouts, and yeah, it was no surprise. Dewsbury Hall, same as I said with Gibbs White, who's picking up that space around the penalty spot. Absolutely great finish. Like all the defenders suck towards goal, and he just smashes it in.
Well, that would not just fucking coming over, like dashing over the penalty shout. Because you have got away with one there. I do not give a fuck what you say. You may have had one at the other end that didn't get given for you, and it all balances itself out. But
see, I don't think it's a penalty.
Mate, I'm using the exact same description you said in this day and age with VAR and how it all works. Like you said for the...
True.
I don't understand how this one hasn't been given. I don't want it to be given.
In Europe, it's definitely given. What I do think that I've been very consistent about is I don't think that should be a penalty. If you want to give an indirect free kick for it, then fine. Like I can understand that. But if you think that I can't remember if it was Better or Barry who was chesting the ball.
I think
Barry at this point. Like he's in the corner of the box. Like he's closer to the corner flag than he is to the goal. If you think that Matty Fernandez, who can't see the ball, who's just going to like defend the player, and it accidentally hits his hand, results in a clear 75% scoring opportunity, then you should probably be watching like chess or something. Like you should probably be like get off the football, like leave football to the like real people who actually enjoy this shit, because like that's some bullshit. If you want to give an indirect free kick for it because it's hit his hand and that's illegal, then fine. But I don't think you should give a penalty for it.
The only thing you're consistent about in this podcast is being biased to West Ham is shit. That's all it is.
How many times have I been slagging off West Ham this year? It's about 30 weeks in a row. We're only just out of the relegation zone.
But no, penalty all day, mate. That's what I'm saying. Penalty all day. But
indirect free kick.
Dewsbury Hall, he's the man of the moment for Everton, at least. I mean, good strike, good finish. 2 goals in 2 games. It's probably more than that. I should know, but
I mean, I think he's been their best player this season.
Ooh. Do you know what?
I think that he had that spell out injured, and they really missed him.
I'm trying to think if it's recency biased, but
I mean, Ndai is in with a shout, but he missed a few weeks with AFCON and that, and I think Ndai has struggled without a quality player opposite him. Like when Grealish was playing, Ndai was like cooking people up.
We're waxing lyrical about like because they're double teaming one of them at each time, the other one gets some space.
Yeah, now you've got McNeil on the other side. It's like Ndai's having to do too much, and Ndai versus Diouf, a Senegalese matchup in this one was quite fun to watch. Like they were giving it, like they each won battles and stuff. But yeah, Dewsbury Hall would be my Everton Player of the Year hands down. Maybe Jordan Pickford, but
I didn't think of that when it comes to our Team of the Year, because I think that might be recency bias, but who knows? Cool. But then how are you feeling after that? Dreadful, nervous?
Well, it was that awkward 10 minutes of Spurs had just scored, and then 4 minutes later or 5 minutes later, Everton got the equaliser, and it was like we went from our lead being, what was it, 5 points, to then it would being back to 2 points, and then it being, oh, it would have been 4 points, then back to 2 points, and then it was like, shit, we're in the relegation zone.
Hold on,
And
hold on. Let me check that mouse. No, are you adding? I can't even
something
see
like
it.
that, and
Something like that.
but there was like a fight. There was like a 3 minute spell where we were in the relegation zone, and it was like, and I just having seen the previous 30 minutes that led up to Dewsbury Hall's goal, I just did not see us turning that around, like getting like coming back and getting the winner. It really felt like that was it. We'd had the sucker punch like taken out of us.
What
So
do you think
like
changed it?
credit to the players. Like they stood up. They didn't let it take them out. Like I've seen this group of players get their heads down. Earlier in the season, we were losing 3-4-5. Like we were conceding from every corner, and that the players were dropping their heads. I think the mentality around the squad has changed massively in the last couple of months. I think Jared Bowen has become more vocal as a captain. I think other players have stepped up. I think having like Tati and Pablo like fire people up, because like they might not score a lot of goals, but man, they'll chase people down all day long.
That's what it is that I'm seeing from the outside, because I'm thinking when I'm watching your games now, watching highlights of your games, I'm there like I wasn't seeing these two people up front doing anything for you before. Not
Nothing.
them, sorry, but like there wasn't a player up there being vocal or on the ball trying to chase down doing anything. Like we make
No, and
jokes
you've got
not scoring, but they
and you
weren't.
yeah, and you've got Mavropanos and Disasi at the back just heading everything away like two like rocks. Like you can argue all day that they're not ball playing centre backs, but they will head in anything clear. They will put their bodies on the line, sort of thing. So I think that's what's really changed, and what showed and got West Ham the winner is that their heads didn't go down after Dewsbury Hall's goal. They rallied from that, and the goal. Jamie Carragher sort of spotlighted it last night. Carl Walker-Peters was at the heart of it. Like, I know Callum Wilson gets the finish, but Carl Walker-Peters plays the first pass out to Jared Bowen, then he picks up on the loose ball, and then when Bowen heads it back down after Diouf's cross, it's Carl Walker-Peters who draws Tarkowski back in towards his goal. So you kind of like that's what gives Wilson the space in the box to be able to, I mean, cool, calmly poke, like just side-footed it home.
And if he's not scoring those goals for you, there's no point in being there. Do you know what I mean? Like that's his.
I mean,
That should be.
his last goal for us, I think, was the Spurs game in January, like
Yeah,
the injury time winner.
I'm
Which,
not saying
like,
he's going to be scoring goals for you because you're West Ham and your strikers don't score goals. But what I'm
well, that's
saying
the
is,
thing.
if he isn't scoring that, then there's no point. Mate, if he's not scoring that against Everton as well, who he has, what, 8 goals in 9 games, in his last 9 games against them, then the West Ham striker spell is more real than any of us ever thought.
But that's the thing. I would like. I'm used to seeing a player miss that. I'm used to seeing a West Ham striker miss that chance. Like, I'm not used to seeing someone like Callum Wilson, who I don't know. It's a bit weird because like the fans have been sort of saying like singing like urging him on and stuff, and I've been a bit like he's scored like 5 goals all season. Like
Like more than any of the other strikers.
I know for a West Ham that's a good return, but like it's still like come on mate, score another one, and then yeah, we scored in this one, and it was Wilson. Yeah, just absolutely like bedlam in the crowd.
I can absolutely imagine because that stress relief must have been unreal. I can only imagine it was like Mateta getting I can't remember if it was the equaliser or winner against Leicester, which basically in that game, whoever lost or if we lost, we were going to be in big relegation trouble and ended up being like the nail in Leicester's coffin to go down. And I remember I jumped on the seat in front of me, just smashed everywhere. Like,
Could have been you in League One.
is that literally could have been? But is that the stage it's getting to now with you on this roller coaster in the relegation battle?
Oh, 100%. The crowd was incredible at the end of the game, and yes, Spurs like also picked up a win, but I think that just makes West Ham's win even more important because if
Yeah,
we hadn't have won that,
you don't want to be flip flopping between in and out of it with them. If you can keep
no.
them below you for like obviously keep below for as long as possible, that mentality of they still win, they're there, and then the next one that comes if they drop any points and you
Our
win.
next our next 2 games we play the day before Spurs. which could be massive. Like we've got a tough one against Brentford away this weekend, but like if we can pick up positive results ahead of them playing, it could. I don't want to speak too soon, but yeah.
But
I
also
mean, we
your
may as well go
form.
on to them, right?
No, just touch before that. Your form, I think, since around the 17th of Jan, so I'm guessing that's just after you've lost to the Forest, and everyone's written you off. Points gained, you're fifth in the Premier League.
Yeah,
Like, it's crazy how that turnaround's been there, especially after
got
everyone.
got to the FA Cup quarter final. Like we've been excellent, and that also coincides with, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, the hiring of the assistant manager Paco Gemes. Like, it is no coincidence that since he joined, the mood around the club, the motivation of the players, the atmosphere has gone up, and the performances have gone up, and the returns have been there. Like, if we'd have started this earlier in the season, we might not be in this position, but it does give you confidence. As much as I'm loath to get ahead of myself, it does give you confidence that for the last four games, like from what we've seen since January, that we
Mate,
could do this.
mate, you're always going to be in this position because I said so at the beginning of the season. And what I say goes. You get this? Get it?
All right, Oracle, calm down, calm down.
No, I'm not an oracle. You're my bitch. That's it. That's all. But yeah, should we move on to the Wolves Spurs game then?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much notes for this, to be honest.
First
Like,
half, like we said, the Slanky injury, the only note, and then the second highlight. Well, I think that was a pot shot from Wolves, and then the second highlight was a Simmons injury, which is mental.
yeah, and he's out for the remainder and the World Cup and for a while. I think he's got an ACL or something. So,
Mate, what was
I
funny is
mean,
my other West Ham mate, yeah, I have one more than you. Messaged the day after. He was
sounds
like,
like a lie, but okay.
"What was it? My other one, West Ham mate message. He said that Simmons injury is actually a bit of a touch for Spurs," and I was like, "That's so fucking harsh."
That's really harsh because I actually think he was like against Brighton. He was easily their best player. Like,
But yeah, I thought it was really when he said that. I mean, to be fair to Spurs in this game, they did have a lot of chances. It seemed like half chances here and there, but they managed to finally squeeze one in through Paulinho from a dreadful Charleston shot. But I
he
mean,
was
they
so
played.
close to being offside as well.
Was he? Oh, fuck.
He
But
was
yeah,
so close to being offside, like legit, like inches down to it. So, yeah, I mean, from a Wolves perspective, they just look like a team who were relegated, trying to
done,
frustrate another.
done.
Like like if that Gomez free kick goes in at the end of the game, he would have been inducted to the Hate Watch Hall of Fame as well as Jorginho Rutter. But unfortunately, wasn't to be. But
No,
yeah,
but
I
I,
don't
I
know if
don't.
this gives Spurs any like I suppose it gives them some boost, but because they finally got a win in 2026, but don't know how much it gives them.
I don't know. You can't really sit there in this one. I mean, everyone's likes taking the piss. I guess we're taking the piss, but for being fair to Spurs, you can't really sit there and say they probably didn't deserve to get the 3 points out of this game because Wolves didn't really do anything apart from the free kick in the last minute. So fair dues to them, I guess. I still don't think they're going to have enough to get out of it. But first win since 28th of December, that one being against Palace. And once again, De Zerbi just looks like a bit of a knob on the sidelines. And it's really grating on me. And I didn't think I'd care that much because I never really cared when he was Brighton manager. I just thought, oh, you're Brighton's manager. I'm meant to not like you. But it's really grating on me now for some reason. I don't know why. I don't usually have things like that annoy me. It's so strange. But yeah, I mean, like you said, who do you think's in the biggest trouble out of everyone down there? You still think it's Spurs? I generally think Newcastle might be in trouble at this rate.
I just don't see Spurs picking up 8 points over four games to put Newcastle in there.
Did you ever
Like
think about it
they
as
are
well?
free falling, but I do still think Spurs are like until Spurs get outside of it with how West Ham and Wolves are playing and how Leeds have been playing recent weeks. Like until Spurs get out of it, maybe I'm just not forward thinking enough, but it's just hard to see it changing too much.
It's mad to think they get a win and they're still 2 points off safety. That's
Yeah,
what's got to
it's
really.
they got a really hard one to call this weekend because they got Villa away, and it's like sandwiched between Villa's Europa League semi-final. So I'm like, I don't really know what Villa are going to turn up for that. But
But they
Villa
don't
at
really have
home,
much to play for anymore either, do they? They're kind of set on getting a Champions League spot at this rate, unless they really no, they're getting a Champions League spot. So what do? Do you just throw the next two games and worry about winning some European silverware? I mean, I know what you want Palace to do.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. I think there is something to be said about momentum and keeping that up. Like you don't want to lose too many like in the league that maybe because like they're tough games. They're going to be tough games against Forest. Like we just seen them draw recent weeks. So like Villa aren't going to just expect to get through that. So yeah, maybe they go full strength. They will obviously go full strength in the semi final, and maybe they go light. They switch things up in the league, and then I have to rely on Tammy Abraham breaking his curse again.
Yeah, you don't be doing. I mean, the next four games for what was it? Spurs, West Ham, Forest, and Leeds. What was it? Spurs have Villa. That's probably a loss. Like I know, we just said that, but it probably is a loss. West Ham, Brentford. That is a hard game, like you said.
We've got
Nottingham.
shit form at the G Tech.
Everyone has shit from the G Tech. Like it's a bit of their fortress. Forest have Chelsea. God knows what Chelsea will turn up to that, but you'd probably think that's maybe a bit too much for Forest to go and batter for against another team. Well, like a team of Chelsea's caliber, well, meant to be caliber. Then Leeds at Burnley. Surely that's the game that Leeds win, and then they get themselves completely out of it. Newcastle at Brighton.
They say.
I don't see Newcastle getting anything from Brighton. So
No, but they'll get a point from here out in the end of the
yeah,
season. I just think it'll be enough. Like it would be incredible if Newcastle were like dragged into it that much. Like I think they'll be fine.
I think it takes one more weekend of all those three teams winning because I sat there thinking, shit, maybe we're in trouble because we're only 1 point off Newcastle, and I was like, that'd be typical us to win a European trophy and then get relegated. But it's a hard one down there, man. I think. Do you think it's just you and Spurs at this point, or do you think Forest are still in it?
I think, as I said earlier, like after Forest results on Friday night, I thought they were out of it, but the other two teams winning just brings them back into it. And I think it's just, I mean, it's really just as you were, like this after this weekend, like with sort of like obviously Leeds only drew against Bournemouth, but that's another point on the board for them. Their heads are above water, like clear enough. And now that they got knocked out of the FA Cup, I think they'll easily pick up enough. Like even if it's just a couple of draws, that'll be enough for Leeds. Like I just don't see. I mean, I don't think Spurs were convincing enough in this Wolves match against a team. They were the first team to play Wolves since they've been officially relegated, and they didn't really look like they were like beating a team up.
That's saying a lot, really, is it?
I don't know. I think it was mostly half chances, like
Yeah, still.
which you would expect from a team of that like quality. Even with the injuries that they've had, they've got players like Richarlison, Matthias Tell, João Pelinha. Like they've got plenty. They've still got as much injuries as they have. They still have plenty more quality that they shouldn't be in this position.
He was saying that I had like a mini rant when you guys were winning and they had done nothing and they were looking like 3 points in the relegation zone. I was like, it's actually really pathetic. Like a team with all that money and like all that time of being up there at the top and having to should have built strong foundations are in this position. It's generally pathetic. Like
Hey, nice stadium though.
you heard the stuff in socials and everything as well. Everyone's blaming the retractable pitch for all the ACL injuries they've had this season. And it's just like they've had that. Don't nod your head. They've had that stadium for fucking years.
Well, no, I've heard similar things about the Bernabeu since they introduced the retractable pitch on theirs, and
Nah, get
these
bollocks.
like turf sort of pitches are like notorious in like NFL for like causing injuries and sort of stuff. So like there is like I think there is an element of truth to that,
No,
and
not
then
even
and
it.
then there's also just an element of Spurs being Spurs.
Nah,
It's very
mate.
it's very Spursy in it.
Fuck the pitch. It's down to more games, athletes working harder, being trained more, all that shit. Type football we're playing, like all that. It's not the pitch. Like lots of teams have gone there and not fucking broken ACLs on that pitch. Like, not having it. Not having it one bit.
The sports scientist over here.
I'll take it. Yeah. Cool. Do you have anything else to touch on the relegation battle at the moment? You enjoy? Maybe I haven't asked you this, but are you enjoying it? Do you think it's gonna?
I think
What I
I
think.
said. I think I said last week. I was like, it. It's really enjoyable. I can see as a neutral that this is really, really enjoyable. That there is a relegation race going on this season. Like, obviously, there's a few things to play for this season, whereas last year everything except for like the last European spot was up for grabs at this point of the season. It felt like it's just nervous being in there. Like it feels much better now that we've got our head up, we've got out of it. Like I can breathe a little bit easier, but yeah, until we're safe, I'm still just going to be like a bag of nerves until the end of the season.
What these things do though is bring fan base together. And to be fair, West Ham did both ends of it this season. It seemed like the fan base had fallen apart with the club completely. And I mean, you're probably still not behind the club. Karen Beatty going probably a nice little thing for you.
Ding dong, the witch is dead.
But then I think like this is going to bring everyone together at the club, and you get out of it, it's going to make you stronger, and you'll probably go on and have a good season next year.
I mean, we're unbeaten in our last 6 home games. Like the stadium that was at the start of the season, an albatross. The atmosphere was dreadful. It was really hard to get up for it. The team were conceding early and stuff, and it was like it's night and day now. Like the atmosphere, like the crowd are like willing the team on as much, and they're seeing a team work for it as well. So like it's reciprocated.
What way to the end now? But cool. Should we move on?
As long as we survive.
Yeah. Should we move on to the dead rubbers and the I do not cares?
Yeah, with the quick part of it, of the pod.
I mean, Fulham Villa didn't actually seem too bad. Like a few half chances in the first half. Then Sessignon gets one just before half time from a rebound from Martinez save. That was pretty big from a Lukic header after a cross from Castagna. And yeah, I think Fulham were done pretty harsh not to have a second goal in the game. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think Fulham played well in this one. The big chance to make it to is Harry Wilson not passing it through. Sorry, I said Harry Wilson. All I can think of is Callum Wilson.
Hey, I told you, consistently biased. All you got is West Ham. That's all you want to talk about.
Can we just go back to talking about West Ham? Or...
Hey,
no, it's the Wilson chance where he should slide it through to Raul, who is free on goal, but Wilson decides to try and have a shot past 1-2 defenders, like with a third on his heels. So he chooses the hard option, and Wilson, you can't blame him too much. Yeah, like the goals he scored this season, you can understand why, but when you watch it back, it's so glaring that like if he just slides it into Raul, he's just gonna slot that one home, and then it's a 2-0 comfy win. I think Villa had their chances as well. I think this was a really even match. A weird one for Villa's point of view, because it's like, obviously, as we kind of touched on it before, like how they sort of attack the league with this Europa League semi-final in mind. It didn't necessarily feel like they had an eye on it, because they created plenty of chances. Like Rodgers should have scored, Watkins has a chance. Like on another day, Villa could have got out of this with a win, but I think.
But did you say they might be cursed, and that's why they didn't get anything out of this game?
I said one of my notes is the Tammy curse back. The Tammy Abraham curse is back on after that finish near the end.
Disguise it, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, sorry, Tammy. We had 1 week where the curse was lifted, but unfortunately, I'm struggling to argue against the curse these days.
I told you. I fucking told you. But yeah, anything else really touching on the game?
I mean, from a tactical point of view, Fulham really pressed Villa's defence. Like they really went for it, and they kind of like the attack. They were so like they kind of went man for man with Villa, and like similar to like the Marcelo Bielsa Leeds sort of days. Like they went 1-on-1 in defence, which left them like a couple of times. Villa were able to play out through it, and like the Rodgers one comes from that counter where there's like it's like a 2-on-2 essentially, but Fulham were pressing Villa's defence, and that's kind of almost what led to the first goal as well. Like making them like Villa obviously want to play out from the back, and Fulham were able to sort of like sit them deep and like press them into mistakes. So yeah, obviously hot and cold Fulham. Like,
but do you know what?
As we know,
maybe we need to put that hot and cold and inconsistency to one side for the rest of the season, because 48 points, there could be a push for Europe there. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get myself thinking about it. I'm going to talk about Fulham more, and they're going to let us down, and then I'm going to be angry again. Like,
yeah, I mean they're 1 point off seventh, but we've been here before. Like, I mean, if you look at their last 5 results, it is like still. I feel like it always is peak inconsistency. It's draw, win, loss, draw, win. Like, it is literally like a pattern of we can't put a run together.
It's Fulham playing some European football.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you,
isn't it?
But if they did,
and like, must be hard.
And like, there's no real reason why they can't. Like, they've got a good coach. They've got options in attack. They've got some good defenders. They've got a decent enough goalkeeper. Like, they've got like players like Sessegnon and that. Like, they've got enough to get into one of these European spots, and then they don't do it. And I think that's why Fulham fans get frustrated.
It's on my head, isn't it? I can't believe we've started to understand how Fulham fans feel after doing this pod for a year. It's crazy.
Fulham fans, we hear you. And I think at the start of the season we probably said our prediction for them was probably 10th, 9th, 10th. Like, probably trying to get into one of those European spots, but maybe falling slightly short again.
Yeah, it's exactly what's happened so far. Prove us wrong, Fulham. Prove us wrong. Cool. Anything else you want to touch on? Or should we move on to the Arsenal-Newcastle game?
Yeah, let's blitz through the rest of these, because a couple of them are losses, and then the other ones Alex won't let me talk about too long.
Nah, what is it? So, Arsenal-Newcastle, springtime ebbs. That's all I've got to say, really. Limp game.
I mean, Hall of Shame, first of all. Osula, early chance where he just misses the ball entirely. Like, come on, man.
We need to stop being harsh on him, because I was saying, like, the most limbs and legs everywhere goal he scored not against us. First, we had the finish against us where he disco dances on the floor to put it in. Then the one the next week where he's limbs everywhere. And then this one where he completely misses it. Like, he just doesn't look like a striker. It's really mean.
I mean, he's a young player. Like,
yeah, he's doing well. The worst thing is he's doing well. Like,
I mean, watch, he'll go to Eintracht Frankfurt this summer, and then he'll score 30 goals in the Bundesliga and be the next £100 million striker.
That's bang on, actually. That's exactly what will happen.
I mean, they were after him in January, so I know it's bound to happen.
Yeah, it's bound to, isn't it? But yeah, apart from that, I haven't really got much. Newcastle just, like you said earlier, free falling. I think keep it 1-0, and they had some chances, but
I think they started all right, Newcastle, and then a couple of corners, and Arsenal did the same thing from each corner that led to Eze's goal. Like, they tried it like twice before the third time that Eze finds the back of the net. I think that's on players and coaches for not spotting that. Like, I think I can accept once that catching you out, but then the third time Eze gets it, there's sort of no one closing him down quick enough, and that's pretty unforgivable, and probably a telltale sign of where Newcastle are in this season, as you say, kind of free falling.
Yeah.
I mean, if it like, do you want to talk about the Pope foul on Gyökeres? I think it was judged perfectly. Like, definitely a yellow card. Tior was covering it. Like,
100%. Yeah, not aware red at all.
And then the Visser missing that chance, like, that Voltemada chips it over and Visser skies it. Like, at least get it on target.
Hey, that Voltemada chip was actually beautiful. I was like, did not see him having that in his locker. And then Visser to completely fuck it.
Like,
completely.
It's not worked for Visser this season. Obviously, it started off on a bad foot with injuries, and he's just never got going in a Newcastle shirt yet. But like, you've got to at least get that on target. If the keeper saves it, fine. It's a difficult chance because your body's at a weird angle. It's moving fast, but you have to get it on target.
So, 100%. But yeah, do you want to move on to Liverpool Palace?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
should we?
You weren't at Anfield this time.
No, I was at Budapest still, wasn't I? But yeah, let's rattle some Scousers. Salah's last ever involvement at Anfield and for Liverpool, fouling himself whilst diving. Injuring himself whilst diving. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious stuff. And then Munoz scoring a worldie as well. That had
I
nothing wrong
mean,
with it.
that goal was jokes. Like just like Woodman goes down and Munoz just pops it into an empty net, and they just lost their heads, and it was just like it was just so funny to watch.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Freddie Woodman. Like his dad's ex-Palace player, like was one of those Palace players in the 1990s that was like part of the big like dressing room.
Well, I
And
was gonna say with the Woodman one, like it was one of those all-time third goalkeeper games. I don't know if Palace ever had this, but like we had one like in recent memory. David Martin, son of like West Ham legends, and he played against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and we won 1-0, and he made loads of saves, and it was like his only real game for us. Like he played a couple of other cup games, etc. But like, yeah, it was just like one of those all-time third goalkeeper games.
yeah, I'll back you with that. I think yeah, you did really, really well. Still think we did better than the scoreline shows, but also I'd rather we just put a second-rate team out completely and not brought any of the big guns on, and just kept it all for this Thursday because nothing's happening with the league now. We're not going down. We're not getting any type of Europe. Just focus on one thing. I know Glasser's not the type of manager to do that, and it's against his philosophy, but there, there's literally no point worrying
I
about our
mean,
stuff
my only other note was, why didn't you roll over like this for us?
now. Hey, I tried to, but you were just too shit.
Well, you didn't because you kept trying to defend really well, and then in this game you kept being really open at the back and just like it kept
When you
getting caught on the counter. It was like, what the hell?
when you
Why
let
did
Andy
Isak have so much space in the box? How do you let Andy Robertson score against you?
not just score against you, score on the break against you, that's fucking
Like,
unforgivable. Unforgivable. But yeah, that's enough. That's enough of that game. Cool. Okay, I'll give you other games because I'm sorry, viewers, but I was too hungover to be bothered to watch a United Brentford game last night, and I don't care about Brighton beating Chelsea midweek, and I don't really care about the other midweek ones. So there you go, Tom.
well, I'll rattle through them. Brentford, I thought were plucky, but like end up losing to United. But Thiago has three big chances without getting a shot off. You wouldn't have seen this, but like he was through on goal pretty much three times, and on each occasion, like a defender got a block in or like got in front of him, and it was just like it was a weird game because Brentford they get the one goal back just too late. Kind of, if they'd have got it earlier, they would have. I think they would have come out of Old Trafford with something. They were in the first half. It was a real like went battle back and forth. I think I would say that they were probably missing Jordan Henderson in the middle of the park to like kind of control things a little bit better because it was kind of a bit chaotic at times, which I think played into United's hand a little bit. Played into Brentford's too at times, but yeah, it doesn't. Them losing at Old Trafford doesn't give me any confidence for this weekend. Like they played well in that loss. Brighton battered Chelsea. Should have been 6-0 by half time. Like they
Boring.
see the end of LinkedIn
Boring.
Liam,
So
and
boring.
then
Move on.
boring. Move on. Okay. Bournemouth and Leeds played out a fun draw, and then Leeds continue to no-show at Wembley. Like they've lost their last four games at Wembley, dating back to '97, I think it was. They said.
Yeah, I was watching it. I was watching this one or City one at the pub. It was all became the same football games at the end of the weekend with all the booze. But yeah, I'm guessing what it seemed like is that they just didn't. They went that one goal behind. Plucky maybe, like you said, for Brentford, but it just whenever I checked in on the game, it seemed like Chelsea were just clearly going to win this game.
Yeah, it was pretty comfortable for Chelsea to be honest, except for maybe a 15-minute spell after Leeds kind of changed formation at half time. But yeah, unfortunately, Leeds couldn't shake the Wembley hoodoo, and then finally Burnley got relegated against Man City, but actually only lost 1-0, which
Yeah.
was better than I was expecting for them.
I guess same as well. So there you go, Burnley getting the bin.
In the
That's
bin, Burnley.
honestly.
Sorry, we didn't give you much much of a swan song, but
Nah, what was it? We gave Burnley their dues a bit in the season, didn't we? But then
I
just
mean, we
went.
tried to find excuses for them, I think, at times in the season. We tried, like, maybe early in the season we were a bit more happy with them, but they've been on a pretty downward spiral since, like, October, November.
In fact, Scott Parker's still in a job. Pretty good going from Burnley to keep him there.
Would you
Like,
keep him? I
I
mean,
guess
maybe this is for our end of season, or maybe they make the decision before the end of the season. But
they probably make the
I
decision
mean,
before the end. But
it doesn't inspire much hope, does he?
yeah, but I guess you could look back on what the season was like last year. But then when you've lost your star goalkeeper who helped you to, like, what was it, the best defensive record in
Yeah, I was
Championship
going to say,
history,
is
it
that an
kind of ruins
anomaly?
it. Yeah.
Like,
So it's kind of, you're not going in with Dubravka and getting that record, are you?
no, not at all.
No,
Maybe actually, you think he's a Premier League goalkeeper,
I
so
think he's a
at
Premier
maybe
League
a
goalkeeper,
Championship
but
level. I mean, you're
I think
probably not conceding 19 goals all season, but
yeah,
you probably keep a decent record.
but, I guess it's one more ponder came on to the end of the season. But yeah, cool. Okay. Should we enter predictions then?
Let's do it.
Oh my God, mate! I think there's no midweek games.
We
There's no
finally
midweek.
made it. Well, don't speak too soon because there's definitely more midweek games coming. Like you play Man City or something.
No, we play them on a Wednesday. That's like nearly a month away.
That's called midweek.
Nah, that's not for a while. We got a break. We got a break from it all. Yeah, where should we start? Leeds, Burnley,
Friday. I was gonna
Friday.
say you were like, where do we start? Like, probably with
Friday.
Friday night, mate.
Yeah,
Where
Leeds,
we usually
Burnley.
start.
Leeds, Burnley, Ellen Road. I'm going to go 3-0 Leeds. I think I'm going to take what you were saying about Wolves in the first game after being relegated. I think Burnley will just pack it in completely.
Yeah, Leeds under the lights, Ellen Road against a relegated team, needing any result really to be enough to keep Leeds up. I see them getting that comfortably, probably 2-0.
Yeah, 3-0. Cool. Then Saturday, the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Brentford, West Ham, and the G Tech. How I know you
Mm,
said you're not feeling good about it. I'm gonna go 0-0. I think it's gonna be a draw
I-
red for
I'm gonna go Desmond. I agree with a draw, but I think there'll be a little bit. There'll be some goals.
Cool. And then Newcastle, Brighton. I'm gonna go Newcastle to break the hoodoo, stop free falling 2-0, just because I want that to be the case.
Yeah, that sounds more like hope than expectation. I think I think I'm gonna go Brighton 2-1.
Oh, cool. Then Wolves, Sunderland,
God,
1-1. I don't know.
I'm gonna go 0-0.
Why has that game got such a just exhale when you
Stigma
look at it?
around it.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
does, doesn't it?
like it feels a bit like just like I'm sure I'm sure Wolves fans feel like that as well. Like we got another Saturday game. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe Sunderland because they've been playing open recently. They might concede, but just doesn't. I mean, watch it. Will be match of the week, and we'll have it first next week because we both feel weird about it.
Mick McCarthy derby, isn't it, as well?
The Mick McCarthy derby.
But yeah, okay, I'm going 1-1. You're going for what? Did you say 0-0? That's
Yeah.
Arsenal, Fulham, the 5-a kickoff. Do you know what? If this was at Craven Cottage, I'd be backing Fulham 2-1. But I think the Arsenal rejects might roll over a bit in this game to try and hand them the title. See how well we putting one in its own net.
Yeah, Fulham won their last game, so I'm going to put them down for a loss in this game, just because I've learnt from my mistakes. Yeah, Arsenal 1-0.
I think 2-1 Arsenal will be a good game. Cool. Then Bournemouth Palace, the 2 o'clock on Sunday. I think 2-3-1 Bournemouth. I think we'll be shattered after midweek, and depending on how the result goes, all eyes will be on that next game anyway. So I kind of hope we don't play a good team, but yeah, I could just
Yeah,
see,
it'd be weird if you played a good team.
yeah, I can just see Bournemouth steamrolling us because, yeah, just do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Bournemouth 2-1.
Yeah, that's fair. Villa Spurs. the late kickoff on Sunday.
Oh, that awful kickoff time is back.
Yeah, no one likes that kickoff time.
I have to back Villa. I need it. I'm speaking it into existence. I'm gonna go Villa 3-1.
I think it's going to be 2-0 Villa. I just don't see who's scoring goals for Spurs.
The kit man.
I'm kidding.
Tea lady.
Cool. Then the bank holiday Monday weird kickoffs. The 3 o'clock on Monday.
3 o'clock on a bank holiday Monday. Odd.
Yeah, odd to say the least. Chelsea Forest. I think a 2-0 Chelsea. I don't know why. Chelsea can't keep up this dreadful form.
I'm gonna go 1-1. I think Forest can get
really?
something here. Yeah.
Forest went there and got something last year, didn't they?
I think so. I'm pretty sure. And Chelsea were better than Leeds, but not not. They didn't look clear of their woes. They just were the better team.
Yeah. Then got Everton City at the 8 o'clock kickoff Monday night. A bit more sense.
Because the Hill Dickinson has to have an 8 o'clock Monday night kickoff.
Made so many. Yeah, isn't that? There was a poll, not a poll, there was an article on that the other week where it was basically like Everton fans have been given the worst.
I think they've had like 8 Monday night kickoffs this season or something like that. It is more than most.
It's meant to be evenly spread, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely not.
No, not at all. But yeah, I'm going City 3-0, just rout.
A difficult one to call. I think City just have enough 2-1.
Yeah, I think the Moyes curse is there, isn't it? Moyes top 6 troubles and Guardiola, his team just putting the fucking throttle down at that point. They'll have enough of a rest by that point because they've got no European football, unlike the giants of Palace, Villa, and Forest midweek.
Oh, mate. Enjoy the rest of your week out in Krakow.
I'll try not to die. Like I haven't died
Enjoy
yet.
going onto the front line of the war.
Don't say that. Don't say that, please. There were so many army patrols at the fucking airport. Oh, God. But yeah, okay, that's us for this week. Feel free to rate and review the podcast and tell your friends and follow us on socials at Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Reddit, at Upper14FC Podcast, or email in at upper14podcast@gmail.com. But yeah, other than that, I'll just leave Tom to sing the intro out for us.
We don't
have copyright for
that. I mean, it doesn't sound anything like it, so it can't be copyright.
Cool. Okay, catch you next week.
Cheers.